at the right
1
key.
second. And we are live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off. What's up? Good morning, people. You're watching Bruddc Entertainment. Myself and the lovely
Danny Quinn. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Fantastic. I've been a bit poorly actually. I had the other night. I said to myself, I'm gonna have one little swig. I had no mixers in the house, so I thought I'd have one little swig. I only had one, but it was
Self-inflicted poorly, you mean?
It was quite a big one. But I had one. But I watered it down with water because I had no other mixers. And then the next morning, I felt horrible. Literally, just felt horrible. I had no energy. I didn't have that blistering headache, but I just had like, when you feel that pressure headache there, you know it's there, but you just like, it's just one of those weird things. So I had to take. So that's what
makes you feel sluggish, doesn't it?
It does. It's horrible.
You don't realise how much it takes it out of you when you drink alcohol.
Definitely.
People don't realise it. Like I noticed it on some family members, the effect and the attitude in. I won't mention their names, but the attitude in them. And I'm like, you're talking totally different to how you do when you've not had a drink the night before, but they can't see it because they're still in addiction, but they're active addiction. So, and it's not a heavy drinking. It's just like 3 or 4 a night, but that's 3 or 4 changes you.
Definitely. I think as you get older as well, even worse. Like as everything goes in life, But as you get older, like any sort of aches, little knocks here and there, they last. When you're younger, you run them off. They last a couple of days. These just last like a week or so, Especially with
I don't know what I'd be like if I, because I've been ill since Saturday.
Get older, even worse. Like everything goes in life, But as you get older, like
what's going on here? The sound.
1 second, sorry. When you're younger, you run them off. They last a couple of days. These just last like a week or so, Yeah, cool. Sorry, I was just doing a sound check in there. Right. I was just doing a sound check. Sorry.
I'm literally hiding one side of my face today because my whole body swelled up on Saturday. I was wiped out Sunday. I was wiped out yesterday, and one side of my face is still swollen. So I'm covering it up while we're on here.
Fair enough.
I'm embarrassed.
So you were poorly yesterday as well. What happened with you? Sorry.
That's what I'm saying. My whole head, like if you look down one side of my face, it's drooped. Like it makes me paranoid because I've had Bell's palsy before, and that was when I was using in my drinking stages, and my whole face dropped for about 4 months, and I look terrible. But that's why I'm sitting like this, guys, because you know what it's like. It's embarrassing.
It looks like it looks like the walk of shame look when you come home and you're like, what did I do?
No, I've done that plenty of times. Who ain't? I think we've all done that.
Whoa, that falls nicely into our first question of the day. The theme of the show today, guys, is regrets and mistakes. If anyone's listening and you want to tune in, you want to chime in with your list. Danny, you can start. Regrets. Okay. First one.
Regret. Ugh. One of my major regrets is drinking drugs. Picking up drinking drugs to use for my feelings.
Okay.
You?
My biggest regret is more of a sort of personal and sort of business side of it, sort of thing. Like I've always been very entrepreneurial, and I've always followed since I was like, I would say about 21. I've always had loads of businesses and stuff like that, and always worked and stuff and earned my own money and stuff. But my main regret from this is that like not working, not just getting like a bread and butter job as well, just on the side, just to make sure that I definitely had something coming, and it would have taken the stress off me, like even if I would have just done a night job or something like that, and it would have just taken the stress off me. Where when I was doing business, like sometimes ethics go out the window and you make the wrong decisions, and maybe you do stuff to pay the bills, but it's not necessarily the right thing to do, sort of thing, and that just creates more stress because obviously there's a whole load of other stuff that goes into that sort of thing. But my biggest regret is most likely not working earlier, because I think I would be in a 10 times better place than I am now. if I would have just done that, because just having that comfort.
Yeah.
That's what I'll say to anyone as well. Like, nothing wrong with chasing your dreams, nothing wrong with wanting to do this, wanting to do that, but still, you want that bread and butter.
Yeah.
At least 3 nights a week, whatever it is. Do a night job, do whatever it is, you know, just to make sure you've got something coming in, and just that little bit of something coming in will make sure that it will keep you on the right path, and it will make you not look for shortcuts, you know, in business. You know, that's definitely something I would say.
Yeah, I have a bit of regret with that as well. I've always worked, but I always work for pittance, and I fucking graft my ass off at these jobs. It's only the last couple of years that I ain't worked as such, part time, yeah, but it's not enough. So, but then I'm regretting it. But the amount of jobs I've applied for since Christmas, over 100 jobs, and not heard back from one. So it makes you feel shameful as well. Like, come on, that's a lot of jobs to apply for, not hear from any.
Do you have to be like full disclosure on your CV and stuff like that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'll put on my CV. I'll send my CV out. I send a letter. I send all my all the courses I've done with it as well, and I'm still don't hear back from nothing. And then you've got someone that just wants to start work and they get a job.
Yeah.
So I'm stressing about that at the minute.
The problem as well with like that, with when we get a little bit older and stuff like that, it's like it's like we're not even old, but you know, like we sort of get pushed out the work. It is quite easy to get pushed out the working environment, because when you turn up to jobs nowadays, you've got like a 21-year-old or a 23-year-old manager there, and they might and most of the time they feel intimidated by an older woman, you know, especially with a cross tattoo on her face.
I think I'd be uncomfortable with someone that's a lot younger than me as my manager.
It's a very surreal experience that I've had to.
I'd find it quite intimidating, even though they're younger. I think I'd find that intimidating, like thinking, "Oh, no, I don't know. I'd be quite uncomfortable."
Yeah, I mean, there is that. I mean, it's a weird thing actually when you have people that are younger than you telling you what to do, so to speak. You know, that is obviously there's a little bit of ego there within us as well. But you know, what do you think about that? Do you think that tattoo on the side? That I've never really noticed that. I just saw it now. You've got like a cross tattoo.
One?
Yeah. Do you think?
That's a cross.
Yeah.
And then I've got the heart.
Wow. Do you think that might? I've seen it, but I've only like to think, wow, that's quite big, isn't it?
I just want one here as well.
Wow. You better be looking for jobs in a tattoo shop, because you know sometimes.
I drew that myself.
Really?
Yeah. So I went in there. This was like, I went for a breakup, and I was like, I've always wanted it. Everyone goes, no, but I've wanted it since child. So I have thought about it for a long time. Like, no. As soon as I got it done, I would get stopped so much in the street saying, "I love that tattoo on your face." And generally, quite a lot of people do go and copy what I do sometimes. So I drew it myself. I just drew a cross and then just drew these weird bits on the end. And then he done it obviously a lot better.
Yeah.
But I do want one here now, because I think I've got big forehead, so I'm gonna have it on.
Fair enough. Do you think? Because obviously you know what it's like in this day and age. People are very judgmental, and they see someone with a tattoo on, like face tattoos are, like, you know, especially for the corporate image, any sort of corporate jobs, they might see that and think, you know, they shouldn't, but you know, it's just the way it is. You know, the way it is. It's like turning up for an interview in baggy jeans and all the rest of it. You know, it's just there's a corporate image that people want to like sort of abide by, and that's good. So.
See, to me, then you're not looking at the person. You're just living off of the way someone looks, and that person could generally be the nicest person in the world. So I don't think you should judge by looks at all. No,
you shouldn't. You shouldn't. But unfortunately, that's the first thing we do when we see someone. The first thing we do when we see someone, we judge them. You know, we think, what's this person like? What's they about? Are they this? Are they a prat? Are they a dick? Going on to that, I'm going to put you on the spot here. The first time you saw me, what did you think?
First time, I thought you was alright. I thought you was a bit. You remind me of one of my friends from rehab. Okay. Very, very firm, very serious. You know, says all these big words that I don't fucking understand, but I go along with it. You know.
Do you think I say big words? I don't say big words.
So I knew that I'd kind of get on with you, because when I went to the rehab, I hated him. I hated him. The first time I went to the rehab, and I thought he's stuck up, he's rude, and that was judgmental because it turned out that me and him were the best people together because we're so opposite. So I was like, oh, he reminds me of Nathan. So you reminded me, of one of my good friends. So I was all right with you.
Yeah, fair enough, fair enough.
What did you think of me, eh?
No, do you know what? You just everyone's got that crazy auntie or that crazy auntie or something like that sort of thing. I just got that sort of vibe for you. But it was like a chilled, friendly vibe sort of thing. Like people think I just message everyone on YouTube and stuff, on TikTok and stuff like that. I message some people that I think, oh, you know what? There's something there, something about them, you know. But obviously, I have to have a nice connection. I have to feel a bit of energy from them, you know.
Like I have to feel comfortable.
Yeah, the numbers have the numbers have to align.
Yeah, even some I was cool with you, to be fair, and I felt comfortable after I come off the first time we'd done the show, and I was like, I really enjoyed that, and I do enjoy it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here today. I would have already said to do one, you know.
Fair enough. All right. So we've done regrets. I think it's time for mistakes on your part. One mistake. Come on, just one big mistake that you've made.
I've made so many.
What's the biggest?
Well, that touches me is the fact that I didn't get into recovery and got my kids back sooner. That's a really big mistake to me. But then again, when you're trying to get clean, you can't. If you're not ready, you're not fucking ready.
Yeah.
So, it's a mistake that I have to be still. Now, I'm still picking up from the mistakes I did because I get chucked back in my face. It doesn't just, you rekindle with your children and it stops. One of them holds a massive grudge on me still to this day. If they're not feeling right, okay, it brings up the past. So I'm still making up for them mistakes. But I know I need to stop because I'm mollycoddling it, you know.
Yeah, I think that's a tough one when it comes to kids. You know, we always gonna feel that extra little bit, especially if we feel that we've done them wrong in some way. You know, then obviously we can apologize and everything, but you know, it's still
The big mistake as well is I didn't put. So I'm thinking, right, okay, they're back with me. I didn't put fucking boundaries in place, so I would think that I've got to buy their love. So that is a massive mistake. So it made me suffer because I'm trying to buy their love. Two of them are okay, one of them's not. No matter how much I bought for one of my children, it's never enough. Now I put boundaries in place and rules, but this one particular child always tries to break that. But I've got more control now. But it's only last year, just not last year before I started putting the boundaries in place. That's when they knew I was serious. But that is another big mistake of mine because if I'd have done it sooner, maybe I wouldn't still be in this position that I'm in today. You know.
Fair enough. I think I don't know if you used to watch some of the old TV shows, like when they used to do like the dad used to come, like I think there was a Maury one, there was Jeremy Kyle kind of used to touch on it as well a little bit, where the dad's not in the dad and the mum haven't been in the child's life for like 20 years and then they find the child and then they meet them and then it's like the same sort of situation, you know, it's like the parent says, I'm sorry, my life was in a shit situation, I fucked up, I'm really sorry. All I can do is try and make up for the time I've lost now. And the child, to an extent, they want to vent, they want to get their anger out, they want to say, you left me, blah, 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 you done this, you done that. They want to do that stuff and they will do it. But I think as a parent, if you know you've done wrong, sometimes you just have to eat it. You don't have to kiss their ass, so to speak, but you know, but sometimes you have to let them. You
do. I've had to, because obviously I've had to sit there at the table at times, and still sometimes I bring things up, and I tell you, I just want to dig my own grave, but I have to sit with it because they're my mistakes that I made, and they shouldn't have seen certain things. They shouldn't have been around certain things. But then I've got my youngest who's never been around that, and they think that I bring him up differently. I said, I don't bring him up differently. It's just that he's not brought up in a fucking pub like they were, you know. I would be in the pub, and that was back in the day. Like I wouldn't even dream of taking my child into a pub where everyone's smoking and that, you know. But that's how we was all brought up. That's how I was brought up as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So I didn't know no different. But it is the mistakes are held against me forever. Trust me, it's not easy to get over.
You're always making up for it, unfortunately. As a I think as a parent, you know, it's just one of those things. You're always trying to make up for it. Obviously, you like you said, it's very important to keep the boundaries. You can't let someone push you, but still, you know, you have to be like, okay, I'm sorry, I own it, sort of thing. But you know, but children nowadays are very smart. If they can hold on to something, like, you know, it's different. Like the thing is, it's like if there's emotional trauma, sort of thing, and they need a little help, and they're like, this is wrong with me because of this, you know, it's not right. But if it's like I want to use my phone, and you tell them to get off their phone, well, you done this, then that's not right, you know. And I think that's just children being children.
Children have got a good way of manipulating you. So with one of mine, if something's not right for them, that's when, you did this.
Yeah.
So you're okay for all this 6 months. Now something you're not feeling right. You're now saying it's childhood trauma, blah, blah, blah. When I know most of it is just acting. It's acting because you can tell.
Yeah, so, of course.
But what about your mistakes? What about one of yours?
Mistakes? Wow. Well, I cheated on my girlfriend once. I'm joking.
Is she there?
She was just walking past.
She's going to throw the next
let's have a look. Mistakes. All right, mistakes. Let me think. I'm trying to think. Mistakes.
It's made me giggle now. She's there.
I'm trying to think.
Mistakes.
I'm trying to think. Mistakes. I don't know. I honestly don't know. Oh, do you know what? Something that actually, it's kind of like a mistake, and it's kind of like, it's a mistake, and it's kind of like a regret as well. It's something that still haunts me to this day, kind of, in a way, sort of. It's when I was younger. I was about 18, and I was going to see a girl or whatever, and we got to these escalators, and there was two sort of escalators going down. They were very steep, and I saw these two ladies with buggies. So I've jumped over one side, and I've helped one of the ladies come down the escalators because she was really struggling, like, and she was really scared. But at the time, I just didn't think about the other one. I just totally forgot about it. So as I've left, I've helped one get her down, and then as I've left, I've just heard the other lady's buggy fell, and the baby obviously fell down the escalator, sort of thing. And it's like the moment I left the train station, I heard it, but I couldn't turn back. I was just like, I just sort of froze, and it was like, why didn't I just think to myself, why didn't I go back and help them? But thank God they were taken to hospital and everything, but there was nothing seriously wrong on their side.
You're still holding that yourself accountable for that, but you help one person, like, can't help everybody. Like, you thought that. Sometimes you don't think about two people at once, do you? You just help someone. And
I saw two of them, and I just thought, oh, let me help them. But it did play on my mind for a very long time, because I'm actually quite emotional when it comes to, like, emotional things. So, like, if something sad happens or something like that, like, you know, it will resonate with me really. Like, I over process emotions, sort of thing, sometimes, you know. So it does really it does really affect me sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about that. What's her name? Them to the Essex, Kerry Essex.
Okay. You want to touch on that? We can touch on the next topic. Actually, the main topic of the day. The next topic of the day is a big thing at the minute. Would you abort your child if you knew your child was disabled? And we've had a few social media influencers come out and be quite, you know, they've had some foul words. I'll let Danni jump straight in. She feels very strongly about this.
Oh yeah, I see a lady, Kerry Essex, and her husband on TikTok, and it's thrown me out. I see it a couple of weeks ago. I think it's gone into the papers. It's made me feel physically sick. The words, the vileness. You know, people have got their own decisions. I understand that, and it's up to them whether they want to keep a child or whatever. But these two people are saying, well, I can't even repeat it because it's so disgusting. It's really got my back up, and there's a lot. I didn't think that she would have a lot of support over it, but they're laughing. They're laughing at if I had this is the words kind of along the lines. If I had a child and it was a vegetable, I'd get rid of it because it wouldn't be able to do anything. But they're laughing their heads off about it as well. Then there's big influencers then making videos saying how disgusting, because I've got a disabled child. So it's all going back and forth on TikTok for a while in the papers and stuff like that. But she's holds herself accountable for her actions, and she's agrees, but there's ways of doing things and saying things. She's laughing her head off, and it's disgusting for people that are struggling with disabled children. I think it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, you raised a good point when we were speaking earlier. I mean, I know that there's obviously they do Down syndrome tests on pregnant women, and they do little tests on them, sort of thing. And I think you'll be surprised to know that quite a high amount of women would actually abort their child if they knew it was going to be disabled. It's very high. I think the stats are like 70-30 in favor of aborting the child if there's a disability, sort of thing. When the last test that they checked.
Yeah, I understand they wouldn't want their child to live a painful life or whatever. That's different, but it's the way they're laughing and they're joking, and and other people are supporting them and making jokes. I had to block it in the end. I've looked at the comments, and it's hundreds of people laughing and joking about the matter. It's not funny. Some people don't know that the child's disabled and it's born. I think talk about it in a different way, but that is really made the pit of my stomach turn.
And that was the second part, and that was the second part to my the sort of tussle with my feelings about the whole situation, because as you brought it up with me, you know, most women, you know, if they've got the opportunity to abort a baby that's going to be severely disabled or whatever, they can do that. That's their choice. And some people might say that's their choice. That's fine. You can understand why they would do it. You can understand it. But then there's the other side, which you brought up to me, is that, like, you know, you could have a child 2 years in. You could have your child 2 years, everything's fine, and then that child could become disabled. And it's like, do you tell that kid to just, you know, do you euthanize that child as well, you know? So that's actually a very important argument to the other side, the other side of the argument there, and it makes people think.
That's what I'd be more than happy to argue the point with them and say to them, like, so what if your child got an illness and it had to be disabled, because, you know, I know people that have had cancer and it's in a certain part of their area of their body, they can't walk again, or they get spina bifida, or all these other things. Would you discriminate that child from your family then and get rid of it? Like, that is really broke my heart watching that. It made my stomach, still even talking about it makes me feel physically sick.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's what people need to think about. It's like, also as well, this is another one, it's off the topic as well. There's a big thing at the minute about anti-abortion. And people are saying, there's these anti-abortion people out there that are saying, you know, children should not be aborted. 2 wrongs don't make a right. And Joe Rogan recently had someone on his show, and he said to him he was very anti-abortion, no matter what the circumstances. So Joe Rogan said to him, what if he actually quite brave enough to say this, actually. He said, what if my 14-year-old daughter was raped? Is she expected to keep the child?
Yeah.
And the guy was like, 2 wrongs don't make a right. And Joe Rogan was like, wait a minute, buddy, she's just been raped and you expect her to keep the guy's child? Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think?
I agree with that, but I've had to have one in the past, and it wasn't good. So, otherwise I would have kept it. I have 3 other children, but the circumstances were not good.
Okay.
You know, similar along the lines of certain things, and I totally agree that, you know, how can you expect someone to have a child with a rapist? Looking at that child, the child might come out looking like the person who's raped you. You're gonna have abandonment issues. You're gonna straight away reject that child from birth. I know I would. As a mother, I'd be thinking, I didn't want this to happen. I didn't have a choice. You know, I think that they should have a fucking choice because of reasons like that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the fascinating side to this is, I don't know if you ever a fan of EastEnders at all.
I ain't watched it for ages.
No, I'm talking ages ago. I'm talking back to. I'm talking about Kat's storyline. You know, with
Yes,
Zoe,
yes,
with and obviously like Kat's uncle raped her, didn't he?
yeah,
And Zoe was born, and
yeah,
like it sort of made like a really weird dynamic to the argument because it's like
yeah,
she wouldn't be here. And she's like a whole
yeah,
person, a whole character. She's like, you know, but it's a
yeah.
different argument. But like I said, I think most people are pro. Do you know what I mean? If a woman's been raped, you can't expect to keep that woman to keep that child. You know, and I think in America they're
No,
really trying to cut down on this abortion stuff as well. They're really trying to
no.
cut down on it and stuff.
I think it's wrong. I think, yeah, okay, if you know, you should use something or you should be taking the pill, but sometimes, even in a circumstances that a condom might split,
Yeah.
your pill might not be working because you're ill. Sometimes there's just all different bits that you know you got to add them bits onto the stuff as well because it can happen.
Okay, so the next one of the day. This is a hot topic at the minute. It's a very hot topic.
Right.
Okay, so what they're saying now is men and women, like women, have all the power over who is born. So, i.e., if a woman gets pregnant, she can choose to have that baby or to get rid of it, and the guy has no choice whatsoever.
Yeah.
So the question is, a woman and a guy, they both have a one night stand. The woman gets pregnant. The guy says, "I don't want it." Should that guy have to pay child support for that baby?
Well, it takes two to tango, don't it? It wasn't just the woman. If the man wanted to took precautions, he wouldn't be in that situation, would he? So
All right.
it takes two to tango.
All right. So
But
now,
I do
now,
think
now,
that-
now I'm gonna ask you the tricky question now. So the same scenario: the man and woman both have a one night stand. The woman gets pregnant. The man says, "I want the baby," and the woman says, "Fuck you. I don't really like you. I'm getting rid of the baby." Should the guy have any rights to say that woman has to have the baby?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say a minute ago. I think should be on both rights. Something should be signed that you are keeping the baby, but you know, because the man might want to bring the baby up itself. So it's split ways. I think it should be down personally to both individuals to be responsible for that, for the mistakes they've made. If one wants to keep it, why should the other?
Yeah.
But however, I do believe then in that case, the man should be supporting that person all the way through till the baby's born, and then take the baby and take the baby on.
Yeah, I think what's annoying a lot of men at the minute is like that's obviously what should happen, but the reality of the matter is the women have full control over who's born in this on Earth today.
Yeah.
And if the men don't want the child, like a man can say to her, like, you know, I've seen it so many times. Guys in a relationship with girls, and they actually tell the girls, "Look, this is what it is. I don't want to have any kids with you," but the girl still, basically, you know, no precautions. She basically just lets it happen because she wants what she wants. She wants a baby. So.
And I think a lot of that is so that they have to have a relationship with the girl. Like the girl can't let go of this person. It's like they want to keep hold of that person.
I don't even think it's the person. They just want there's so many people.
These days, this is what young girls do. This is what young girls do. They get pregnant and they want to hold on to the man, so that then they have the baby. Then, you know, it's like a tie then.
Yeah, I think there's a massive. I think that there is a massive portion of that is a women like that.
Yeah.
But I think there's also a lot of women. Like I've heard it so many times. Like women, they just want a baby. If they can get a baby, like an ideal situation for most of these young girls today is to get a baby with a guy that's got a few bob, and she can sack him off and get everything she can get from him and have the baby and have full control over the baby. So I think a lot of men at the minute are really upset at the minute, the fact that they just have no power. It's like they can say, I told the girl, I told the girl, it is what it is. We're just doing a one night stand. I'm not looking for anything serious. But she got pregnant, and the guy might be like, why don't you just take a pill? Why don't you take the morning after pill or something like that? But the women still persist to have that child because they just want that child.
Yeah, see, I'd go and take the morning after pill as well, just in case, and the condom and the pill.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. Yeah, because there was a situation where this guy obviously had a one night stand with this girl, and he was like, you know what, shit, I fucked up. You know, I don't want to.
Yeah,
I've got kids already. I've got a wife. I'm out here. I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing.
that's his own
Just in
fault.
just in case I've got you pregnant, yeah, please take the morning after pill or whatever sort of thing. And he says
Yeah,
sorry to the girl, everything. But then the girl was like, nah, fuck that. I'm not taking the morning after pill. I want to have a baby anyway. You know, I've been trying for ages. You know, so.
that's spiteful, but then he needs to own up, not be a cheat.
So no remorse, no remorse, like you
No,
can't separate.
no, he shouldn't cheat. So it's his own fault, that one. No, I've got no time for
What if you, what
if you want to go out and do what you got to do, then you split up with that person and say, look, it's not working out, blah blah blah. Don't go and get someone else up stuff while your missus is at home.
what about all this? What about all this red pill stuff that's going on? There's a lot of red pill stuff going on at the minute, where basically a lot of podcasters and stuff like that, they're saying a lot. It is men, and there are some women promoting this, but basically saying that if a man is making loads of money, he's looking after his main woman, he should be able to go out and sort of wet his stick now and then, sort of thing.
Damn right, no. Fucking no. No.
Why not?
I don't care how much money a guy's making. If they're not making love to you and they're out there with every Tom, Dick and Harry,
No.
their penis will be chopped off automatically by me, I'll tell you that.
But the thing about it, you have to think about this now. Like the guy, he's worked on himself, he's built himself up, he's made himself. I'm just pushing the argument. I'm not sticking up for no one. I'm not condoning his action. I'm just saying. But the guy's built himself up. He's made a load of money, and you know, often the guys that you disappeared. Okay, often as well, the guys that really work on their career and really work on building themselves up, they don't tend to get to be seen by a lot of women. So like when they actually get to a stage where they're making loads of money, they get in there and they get to that stage, they make loads of money and they think, oh, I've just found one girl. They might decide, you know, oh, I've got all these options now, you know. So my main girl should be happy with me looking after her, making sure she knows that she's the number one. Obviously not throwing it in her face, but occasionally he goes out and wets his stick, whatever. Sorry. So that's a no for you, Danny, then, yeah?
Fucking no. If I found out that your dick's getting chopped off, shoved down your throat, and off you go, mate. No, none of that. Too much cheating. I've had too much of that. Whether they've got money or not, I always get cheated on.
Wow, jeez.
And I'm a grounded girl. Don't go out. Don't go like, you know, putting it about. I'm stuck indoors and I'm a mum. Fucking no, though. On cheating, whether they're loaded or not, they could give you all the money in the world. It's not your actual you, is it? It's you as a person.
Fair play. I don't agree with this section either. I've just got to push the argument out there because this is very popular at the minute. I swear, I shit you not. This is the.
I've seen it with a lot of drug dealers. So they've got this. They're one, and then they're like baby daddies to all these other fucking people because they've got to put it out there. Now they've got 3 different kids, and they're trying to bring up, just whack them a bit of money, and they think they're a dad.
I mean, the argument that a lot of these guys will say is that obviously for women, sex is emotional. There's an emotional contact. Like a woman has to feel an emotional bond with a guy to have sex with him. She has to really like him. But guys are able to just basically fuck anything. Basically, you know, they're able just to like. You know.
See, I've had to turn down people when I've gone to have sex before. Shall I tell you one bad thing that happened? It's disgusting.
Go for it.
Kissing this guy.
Exclusive. We've got an exclusive here. Danny exclusive, guys.
I was literally kissing this person, and obviously we've like kept kissing every time we was going out. Went back to mine, and they went like this, right? And fuck me, it smelled of BO, disgusting. I had to say, can you get out of my house? Like that dick had been everywhere. You could smell it. That made me feel physically sick. So I have turned down, and that's why I'm very funny now, because of that situation. It makes I get watery eyes even talking about it. The smell was insane.
Well, you didn't send him to the shower, no? You didn't say, look, go jump in the shower quick, buddy.
Get out my house and do not come near me. That is
Jeez.
That is no.
Jeez.
Seriously, no.
Wow.
That's many years ago.
How did he take that then? How did he take that? He must have been very embarrassed. But I mean,
Well,
in the heat, in the heat,
I don't care. I'm very like that. I'll say, you fucking stink, mate. Like,
you didn't find him off the streets, did you? When you was
No, but then every time I see him about, he goes, "You all right?" I go, "I'm all right, stinky you."
Oh no, you didn't say. You don't say that to him. Do you know? That's probably like traumatic. You probably destroyed that guy. You know, he probably now can never. Every time he takes his dick out now, he'll be thinking, "Oh my god, does it stink?" But you might have done him a favour because you know some men. Yeah, you honestly, honest to God, like when I was younger, I never used to shower, and when I was young, like the kids must have spoke horrible about me at school. They must have called me stinky, everything. Because I never used to shower, I never used to use deodorant. And then one day, my friend said to me, "You know what?" I was like, "Why are these guys always talking shit about me for?" And he was like, "You know what, buddy? I'm gonna be honest with you. It's because you stink." And I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, you stink. You need to start showering. You need to start washing every day in the morning." And from that day on, I was washing my shirts, making sure I was using deodorant. You know, so God rest his soul. God rest his soul. He died, but yeah, God rest his soul. He died, unfortunately.
I'm telling you. Then how do you know? Like, one of mine is two of them. I think it's too hygienic. You know, 3 showers a day. I'm like, you've just had a shower. Go, honestly. And the other one will wake up, run and jump in the shower, and then I've got one who I have to tell. So I think
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just always been up and get clean, unless I have been so depressed before where I haven't showered for days, and that was when I was having like hallucinations and stuff like that. But that's sad that your family didn't tell you. Like,
No, do you know what? To be fair, I can't even say that. My mum used to say to me all the time, she used to say to me, "Your shirt is black, your collar's black." And I'd be like, "What do you mean my collar's black?" I look at it, I'm like, my mum used to say it to me all the time, "Your collar's black." And I'd be like, "What do you mean my collar's black?" And I didn't really see it until my friend said to me, "You stink and you need to look after yourself." Like, you know, he was very honest with me, you know, he's very honest with me. He said to me, "You stink and you need to start washing, bro." And I was like, do you know what? It's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. I'm not even gonna lie to you because I wouldn't have known. And sometimes you have to be told the harsh. You have to be told it harsh, especially as a man. You have to be told it harsh for you to take it on board. But yeah, that was some good advice that he gave me. And from that day on, I always was. But the problem is though, when someone tells you that you stink, you start in your head. You start to think to yourself, "Do I stink now?" You start, "Do I smell? Do I smell?" It makes you more conscious. And it makes you nervous, and that I sort of struggled with that for a very long time.
Yeah,
it's like when
I'm like it now. Even if I'm just running the kitchen, I've been cooking. If I'm not going out, I will have to get changed my whole fucking clothes because I know that the smell, my face, I know that the smell will stay on my clothes, so I get funny and I have to get changed and spray my hair and everything again.
Yeah,
I'm funny like that just with cooking. I can't stand the smell because I know there's some people that I talk to sometimes on the school running. It's not their fault. That's just the way people live. Everyone lives differently. I've you know, I don't care how other people live, it's down to them, but I can smell dirty cooking on people, and it's really a smell that really gets to me. So if I go in the kitchen and something's cooking, I will have to put a dressing gown on and hide all my clothes and everything. I'm terrible because I don't want to smell like that.
It is horrible having smooth like food that especially curry. You know, I cooked the curry the other day in my house. And my partner had some clients coming over, and she was like, "Oh, it stinks so bad, like, you know, and it's one of those smells and stuff like that stuff." So anything else bothering you at the minute, then, Danny? Anything troubling you? Anything on the?
No, I'm just in a moody mode.
Fair enough.
I'll be back to jolly Danny tomorrow.
Fair enough. I must say, guys, this has probably been my best morning show so far. I've really enjoyed it. It's been really funny. We've had some insights. We've had some exclusives from Danny, stinky woody man running around, and so yeah, I've really enjoyed it this morning. Danny, would you like to close the show for us?
You want me to say, guys, make sure you have a wash before you have sex.
Key advice. That's a tutorial. That's some motivation right there. That will help some people. Guys, Danny's got some advice for you.
Yeah, have a top day.